Hello, welcome to the Curious Crow podcast, episode 14. My name's Martin Willingham.
And I'm Martin Win. I'm in Chris Borden.
There can't be two of me.
God forbid, can you imagine how desperate the world would be if there were two
Honestly,
of you?
the world can't handle that, my friend.
No, I don't think they could, mate.
Coming up in this week's show, we're talking about Gran Turismo Sport, Human Resilience, Monarch Airlines, our weekend with our friend Matt, Halloween, singing and how it heals the soul, FIFA 18 launch day, Forza 7, That's You, Kingsman, The Golden Circle, and the fact we haven't seen it yet, Jack Whitehall Travels with My Father, which is on Netflix, and what happens when flying a flag goes a little bit wrong. So, how are you, Chris?
Yeah, I'm doing all right, mate. I'm surviving, which is lovely. I feel like everything's going well and heading in the right direction.
It's always a good start.
And it's all fun and games at the moment. Although I have just got myself a new phone, so I'm actually contactable.
You're an iPhone man now.
I am, and I'm still finding out new things about the phone that I didn't previously know.
So just before we started recording this, Chris is like, I don't know how to put it on silent. Now, anyone who has an iPhone is going to find that hilarious because there's a switch on the side. You just flick it down and it goes into silent mode. But Chris, you didn't know that.
No, I really didn't.
How long have you been with the phone now? How long have you had it?
Since Thursday last week.
Good. Good. We've done well.
It just goes to show that I really don't pay attention to like the instruction books that come with phones.
Well, also the instruction book that comes with an iPhone is like a single sheet of toilet paper anyway. So, well, it's not massive, is it?
No, it's not. It's not huge.
No. This week, Gran Turismo Sport comes out. Now, I don't know really what I was planning to say about this, other than the fact I'm very excited that Gran Turismo Sport's coming out. I have the collector's edition on the way because there's something wrong with me, Ed. And collector's editions, generally I don't get them. I don't understand it.
No.
But I'm doing it. I think it's because the collector's edition for Gran Turismo 5, I picked up for like 30 quid.
Oh, really?
Somewhere. And, oh my God, it's a really cool collector's little set. It's got, that one had like a wallet in it, a Gran Turismo wallet, a USB stick that looks like a car key. It had like a book in it.
Cool.
An art book. And it also had a copy of the game, obviously. And it also had like a little model Mercedes in there. And I think this one's kind of similar. So, yeah. I'll tell you what I might do. I might do a bit of an unboxing on it. But it comes Friday, I think. And that means I won't be here. But never mind. Gran Turismo Sport comes out this week. I'm excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
You'll hear it all on next week's show.
100%.
Now, we need to talk about human resilience.
Yeah, human resilience as a whole at the moment, I think, is excuse me, is something that I think is very relevant to the time that we're currently in, because of everything that's been happening recently. Because we've said it in many a podcast before now. Obviously, we're on episode 14. I think we may have said it in like 6 or 7 of them.
Yeah, probably.
But the world seems like it's just going mental. That things are happening left, right, and centre. Not all good, and not all bad either. But some of the bad things, they've just not. They have been truly awful.
Yeah. And
yet, there have been several displays of, the human resilience, which is what I love.
Yeah.
I love the fact that I can sit here and go, do you know what? Actually, I'm very proud to be a member of the human race because of the way we're reacting to things. I mean, obviously, I think it goes without saying, and obviously we don't step into politics and things. But
we desperately try and avoid that if we can.
But obviously the Vegas shooting, is tragic, and it's horrible, and it's disgusting.
And obviously, our thoughts
are solely your own.
Are with the people who have been affected by it, and the families of those people who have been injured. Or otherwise in that.
Yeah.
So, one of the things is that when they did the attack at London Bridge a few months back, I went into London the next day.
Yes, you did. I actually remember.
I went through London Bridge tube station. Some people would be like, what are you doing? That's crazy. Be careful. Don't take the risk. My response is this. If we change our way of lives for people regardless of where they're from or what their motivation is, then that's them winning. We don't yet at this point know much about the attacker. We don't know much about his belief system. So it's very early to comment on that sort of stuff. But as Chris said, we've seen humans helping and being there for each other and doing good things in a bad place.
Yeah, very much so. It's not. It's a case of, people have heard about these things and they've heard about how devastating it was, for the people that were seeing this, and it's because it's safe to say if I'd been there, I probably would have shat myself.
Yeah,
because it's just not something you expect to happen, but it did, and it's awful and it's disgusting, it's horrible, and I just can't wrap my head around it. But then you look at all these other people that, the people that are fighting for gun control and all the rest of it, and they're trying to make a difference because this stuff just happens far too often.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's awful.
Without talking too much about politics, because that's not
what we do.
It's not us. We do not have guns in the UK. Obviously, there are guns in the UK. Obviously,
yes.
Excuse me. There are obviously guns in the UK, but they're not legal. You can't go to a shop and buy them.
No.
Our gun crime rate is low. And people say, "Oh, guns don't kill people. People kill people. People with guns."
Yeah.
Take away the gun. Like, it's simple. It's a simple thing. Anyway, we won't get into the politics, but as you said, Chris, we can be proud of the human race.
Very, very much so. I think because, again, human resilience just as a whole has been over the last few months, over this year, has been astounding. Obviously talking, as you said a minute ago about the London Bridge and everything. Obviously the O2 Arena with Ariana Grande.
No, that was Manchester.
Oh, Manchester. Sorry, my bad. Because do you know what? It all feels like it's blurring past because it just doesn't compute in my head. It doesn't make any sense in my head. And do you know what? That's the biggest shame about it. But you look at the people, for as example, from Manchester who started offering up their homes. They don't know anyone else. They don't know these people that have been affected by the horrible thing that happened to them.
Yeah.
And yet, people have had the decency and the goodwill to say, look, if you're scared, if you're hurt, whatever, and you need help, let us know.
I just want to share with you us on the Manchester thing, something really touching. The weekend after the Manchester Arena bombing, I'm a little bit squeaky today.
You are a little bit.
I was in Le Mans, in France, for the 24-hour race. Driving back on the French motorway, we saw a load of people stood by the side of the road with a big British flag that said, "We love Manchester."
That's phenomenal.
And it was nice, because they're French people who are being solid with us, especially when you consider what's going on with the UK politically at the minute. What's good to remember when it comes to stripping away the politics and stuff, people are still people. We still care for each other, and we still are solid despite what's happening. Because I've been travelling around lately. I did Portugal not that long ago, and when I was speaking to people, the realization came that it's not everyone's view. Don't take everyone's. Don't take it as a blanket view. Anyway, anything else to add on that one?
Do you know what? Other than the fact that I think that all the good people that are out there, all these people that are willing to help, that are willing to try and make change, keep at it, because it's hard, it's difficult.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But at least you're doing something.
Absolutely. So yeah, from human resilience onto I guess another kind of problem. Monarch Airlines. I believe it was Tuesday morning.
Yes.
They went into administration.
Did they actually? I didn't know that.
Monarch Airlines have ceased to operate. So, yeah. Do you know what's terrifying? You know something about Portugal a little while ago? Basically, I was in Portugal. If you're an avid listener, you'll know when the PS2 specials were out. That's when I was in Portugal. I flew back with Monarch, so I would have been close. Monarch Airlines. If you are British and you've been on a package holiday, there's a really good chance you've flown with Monarch Airlines. There really is. And all that excitement associated with going on holiday and going on a plane for the first time if you're young. And Monarch held a pretty special place in my heart.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I thought their legroom was rubbish. This is as I got older. I thought their legroom was rubbish, and I just thought they were a bit naff in general and full of screaming children. But this is an airline with nearly, next year would have been their 50th anniversary.
Yeah.
50-year history. An airline that single-handedly, or a big part of making Luton Airport a big deal, which is obviously important to me because I'm from near there. So yeah, did you ever fly with Monarch?
I never did. No, in fact, the only people I've only ever been on an airplane twice, and that was when I was on my way to Japan for a dance competition with my old school.
Right. Yeah.
And as we were getting on the plane and everything, I went, "Oh, well, who are we actually flying with?" Because I had no idea. Obviously, being 13 and only just 16 as well. Obviously, the people you're flying with don't really enter into it, and you don't. For me, anyway, I didn't really think about it. But turns out I was flying with Virgin. They're the only airline I've ever flown with.
Probably appropriate at the time.
At that point it was. No.
Sorry. You line them up, I'll knock them down.
Yeah, yeah. Mm.
Sorry, carry on. Sorry.
No, it's fine. And I seem to remember, again, the legroom wasn't great for Virgin anyway. And as well, the plane food made me so ill. It made me
You can't do plain food, can you?
No, because the last time I did plain food, which was on the way there, on my first excursion to Japan.
Gentleman's on excursion.
Gentleman on excursion. We had to get a large shuttle coach or a coach from the airport to our hostel where we were all staying. And we were all really jet lagged. We were all super tired. So we all fell asleep. Next thing I know, I'm waking up. We're still about an hour and a half away from our destination. And I throw up on the seat in front of me. And the girl's arm who was sat in front of me as well. Because of the airplane food. I'd been feeling iffy since the middle of the flight when we'd been fed. And do you know what? It's the smell. It's mainly the smell that gets me. I can't deal with it.
Here's the thing. Do you like microwave meals? Can you eat microwave meals?
Yes, which is really bizarre.
They're basically the same thing, aren't they?
Yeah.
Basically. Weird.
Precisely.
How strange.
What's one of your memories with Monarch then?
So, I used to go as a young'un to Ibiza. Wasn't like that then. Well, it was like that. It's just I wasn't party to that. That was a bit later on.
Yeah.
That's when you sort of rediscover something you thought you knew when you can drink alcohol. Ibiza. Used to go with Monarch a lot. And then I also went to Turkey, which is one of Monarch's places as well. So I'll never forget the excitement of flying. And I guess Monarch is part of that. Flying for me now as an adult, and I think for most people, it's just a case of, you get on a plane and that's just a bit of the journey you have to bear with. I actually own a pair of the Bose Quiet Comfort headphones, so I don't have to listen to the little pricks screaming. So I don't really enjoy flying anymore, not as a passenger. You know, when I was learning to fly, great, little Cessnas and stuff. Now I just hate flying. But back then, I associate Monarch with the memory of it being kind of magical and special. So it's kind of sad.
Yeah, no, I understand, mate, because you know when as well when you've experienced something with a company or corporation or something, and you've got a lot of memories there. When these things happen, you think, "Oh, it's not going to be there anymore," and it is sad because with memories
with Woolworths.
Yeah. Oh God, don't. I still miss Woolworths.
Yeah. No one, especially when it happened as well. When it all started going down. No one imagined a high street without Woolworths in it.
No.
And even now, I'm almost, when I go down a high street, which isn't very often, I'm surprised to not see a Woolworths.
I know, it's still odd, isn't it?
Like the one in Aldershot, for instance.
Yeah.
It's now Poundland. Well, it's nothing now. It's
No,
empty now,
Yeah,
isn't
it is
it?
empty, yeah.
They've moved.
Well, this is the thing, 'cause I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm fairly certain the Woolworths are still online.
I think it's a different company just using the name.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
I think so.
that's disappointing.
Let me have a little tap. In the meantime, why don't you talk about meeting up with our friend Matt McCallum, who wants to,
yes,
who will be coming on the podcast at some point.
Yeah, most definitely. I know it'll be good to have him. Basically, Martin's friend Matt McCallum, Mr. Matt McCallum, has been travelling or went travelling for what, a year?
Yeah, no, it was 7 months in the end.
Oh,
also,
7 months.
just jump in.
Okay.
Woolworths has been absorbed by Very.
Oh,
Yes.
that's disappointing. Anyway.
There's talk of it being bought back by someone else, though.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, let's
Well, I
talk.
hope
Let's
so.
talk. Let's talk.
Anyway, yeah, Mr. Matt McCallum has been travelling for 7 months in the end.
And now I'm online shopping.
And, oh, for God's sake, stop it. He's now come back to the UK, which is lovely. He was predominantly, a few years ago, Martin's friend. But obviously, over the years,
And now I just don't like him anymore.
well, no, we've all got to know him in our little friendship group. We all love him. We've all missed him very, very much. And then myself and Hannah, who's been mentioned on the podcast before, and Martin. Martin messaged us and said, I'm going up on Sunday, the Sunday before this was recorded.
Yeah.
And said, do you fancy a little road trip to go and see him? And me and myself and Hannah just went, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. So we hop in the car at at 10:30 in the morning.
Yes.
From mine, Hannah picks me up, and we then get stuck in traffic for almost 45 minutes because it was horrendous.
Honestly,
on a Sunday, we were sat there going, what?
It took less time for me to get from mine to High Wycombe than it took for you to get from your house to High Wycombe.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like a third of the distance.
Exactly my point, and it's just ridiculous. But obviously we met up, and Hannah jumped on him, gave him a cuddle. I jumped on him, gave him a cuddle. He jumped on Martin and gave him a cuddle.
I enjoyed that. That was nice.
And a bit of a kiss, I think, maybe. A bit of tunce tennis. Loved it. And then we just had a wander about High Wycombe, didn't we? And it was very nice. I quite enjoyed it. I've been there a couple of times now. And we all just had a bit of a laugh, bit of a catch-up, bit of a reminisce. Went and played pool for a little bit, which was lovely. We had a chicken nandos, you get me?
I haven't Nando's in ages. I just wanted it.
Yeah, no, I feel it, man. Sometimes you just crave it, don't you?
Yeah.
Like for me, it's like that with KFC. It's like that with KFC
man,
for me.
Do you know what the thing with KFC is?
What's that?
It always used to go like this. I'd really want KFC. I'd go to KFC. I'd be disappointed by KFC. Wouldn't want KFC for a while. What's happening at the minute is, and I'm not paid to endorse them, but if you want to, my email address is KFC. If you want to sponsor us, you know where to come.
Yeah, 100%.
You can sponsor us. We'll just have like a bucket of chicken during every podcast.
I will take chicken as payment.
But the way it's going now is go to KFC, discover it's good, enjoy myself, want to go back to KFC. So KFC, by getting good and keeping the chicken moist, mean that you're making me fatter. And your food is so damn tasty, and it's good, and I want to go. I want to go right now. I say we sack off the podcast.
Yeah.
And go, no, we won't do that. Right.
No, we're doing well with it, man.
Anyway,
we haven't missed an episode yet.
Please, we won't. It won't happen. Please continue, Mr. Borden.
And then, after we had our chicken nandos and our nice chicken, you get me? We then just had another little walkabout, didn't we?
You are the least chavvy human being I know.
I'm ridiculously unchavvy.
You look
so
a bit like an
middle class.
estate agent today.
It's because I am.
He's got a shirt on, little thin stripes, and a puffer jacket.
I've also got jeans on for the first time in 4 bloody months.
But they're black jeans.
And? Your point being?
So you look like an estate.
Oh, cheers. Do you know what?
A smartly dressed estate agent.
I'll take it. I'm trying to think what.
Because I look like a sack of shit. That's why.
Yeah, standard. No, we and then because obviously then we played pool after Nando's. And we just had a little walk around. We also ventured into Ann Summers, didn't we, Martin?
We did.
And we were having a look around, and you gave him a good old whipping.
I did. So I picked up this whip. I just smacked him on the arse with it. Oh, why wouldn't you go into Alan Summers with a bunch of your mates? It's hilarious.
Oh yeah, no, it is quite funny.
It's childish. And Alan Summers is one of those weird shops where you want to take it seriously, but even if you're going in there to buy one of their products, you find it hilarious.
Oh yeah,
I don't know what it is. You look at stuff and you think, where does that go? What's that for? How does that go up there? You know, stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
It asks more questions than it answers.
You to be fair, you tried on some of the reins, didn't you?
Yeah, I tried on what's it called? I can't remember. It was a harness.
A harness, that's the one.
Yeah, it didn't fit around my neck.
It didn't. It sounded like you were choking a little bit, but I suppose that's what Ann
Probably
Summers is for.
Part of the point, yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Anyway, let's move on from Ann Summers.
Yes, definitely.
Are we done talking about Mr. McCallum? And how he played pool afterwards?
Say again.
Are we done with Mr. McCallum?
I think we are, but it was really, really nice to see him. And you know, if any of your mates have gone away travelling or anything, and then they come back, it's always good to see him. Always.
Yeah. I mean, you and I had the interesting experience of Frankie going away.
Yes.
And then Matt and I going to meet her. And then at the airport, the day before I left, going to the airport and saying, bye, Frankie. And then going to the airport and saying, bye, Matt.
Oh, mate.
I lost my best friend and my girlfriend for about 7 months.
Yeah.
That's such. Obviously, I've obviously got Chris, who, you know, we don't just do this podcast and screw away again. We're friends. I've got Chris, I've got Hannah, I've got Turkey, I've got Josh. I've got all these friends and stuff, but, you know, it still it hurts.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it does. I mean, obviously, it's been, again, I've said it on the podcast before, my missus, T-Dog,
T-Dog
is away in Canada,
Canada.
for a fairly long time. And you know, even now, even though it's been a month, it's still very raw.
Yeah.
So
man.
you know, I miss her an awful lot. So obviously, I can understand exactly where you're coming from and what points you're trying to make.
Yes. Now we do need to get a bit of a shift on. Actually, we've got quite a lot to get in this week. Halloween is coming.
This is Halloween. This is Halloween. Halloween. Sorry.
Are you prepared to ruin your costume on the podcast?
To ruin my costume?
To tell people what you're going as?
Yeah, I'm more than happy to.
I'm having a little Halloween party. This is a short version. So, what are you going as, Chris?
Well, for those people who are into old British comedies, and are familiar with the show Bottom, there is an episode that they do. I think it's episode either in series 1 or 2, where they have a Halloween, where they go trick or treating, and the two main characters, Eddie and Richie, both dress up in really poorly made costumes. Hannah is going as Richie, who wears a white shirt, a tie, some rather yellow like tea-stained Y fronts, a pair of tights, a small red cape, little horns, and basically goes as a really cheap little knockoff of the devil.
Right.
Whereas Eddie, who's the one I'm going as, is still fully suited, but he goes down to the costume shop and they've run out of pumpkins and things. So he turns up as a Halloween banana, and that is what I'm going as.
We are Halloween banana.
Well, they ran out of pumpkins down the costume shop, so I am here as a Halloween banana, which is it's going to be a giggle. I'm looking forward to it.
I might, it's only a might at this point, be going as Frankenstein's bride.
Oh, really?
Yes. But only if Frankie makes the dress. Anyway, another thing, we like video games, and you like video games, so this is something we just wanted to talk about, really, to see what the reaction would be. There's a website called Kingsman.
Yes, there is.
Kinguin, and they have an affiliate program, which means that if you buy games using a link that we put in the description, we get money off games, which means we can review more, and which means we can do whatever. Let us know what you think about that one. Comment somewhere. Tell us if you'd be happy to do that. I happen to buy most of my games through that site anyway, because they're normally cheaper. Again, we're not paid to say this. It's not a sponsorship in any way, but I like the site, so let us know what you think about that one. And that means that Chris and I can play loads of fun Steam games and review them just by you doing what you normally do and buying games at a discount. So let us know what you think about that one. Singing. We were singing earlier.
Yeah.
I was singing badly. I can sing. I just wasn't doing a great job earlier. On the running order, it has singing and how it heals the soul.
Well, it does.
Elaborate, please.
I just did a rub of the microphone like you did with the bonk the other couple of days.
Yes.
The other couple ones.
Everyone likes a good bonk.
Everyone loves a good bonk. No, basically, in my mind, because obviously I'm an actor, a performer, and all the rest of it, I love singing anyway. Whether it's musical theatre or just your sing song in the car. But I always find that after a good day where I've been able to sing and I've been able to, do it at different qualities, whether it's good or bad or whatever, I always find I feel really good afterwards.
You feel better.
Yeah, 100%. And, excuse me, and then after, I kind of sit there and go, do you know what? 'Cause a lot of the time if I go in to work or something, and if I'm not in a particularly good mood, I'll sing to myself.
Right, yeah.
Because I think, obviously a lot of different music genres and a lot of different artists and music makers, they all have, different messages in their songs, different themes, different beats, all this kind of stuff. And depending on what mood you're in, singing the right song can just make you feel better. And for instance, the last few days while I've been walking into work or going into work, I've had my headphones in, and I now have Spotify Premium, which is lovely. And
Isn't it the best?
It is the best. Like no one ever was.
I wanna be there. That's on Spotify.
It is. I love it. But I currently have a playlist entitled Musicals, and currently that is the one thing that I've been listening to, especially
just
for
endless musical soundtracks.
Yeah, pretty much. But for instance, it's not my favourite musical, but for some reason, the one song that I've been listening to over and over again has been Agony from Into the Woods.
Right.
I don't know why. I think maybe because I performed it once and I really enjoyed that part and I enjoyed that song, and I have a good memory linked to it. Like, there's a section in the song where Cinderella's prince, because there's two princes who are brothers and everything after two different girls. Cinderella's prince, who I played, sing "Am I not charming, considerate, passionate, da 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 da," all these great attributes to have in a person. And on stage, while I was singing it, I completely forgot my lines. And so it ended up with me going, "Am I not sensitive, charming, well-mannered and sensitive, and I am a king," and screaming at my friend on stage, screaming it at him, while the rest of the cast were backstage, all pissing themselves with laughter because I buggered it up. And basically after that, every time I saw them, they're like, "I am a king," over and over again. And it still hasn't got old. It's still funny. So in my opinion, singing it is just good for the soul.
Carry on talking. I'm having some problems.
You are having some technical difficulties,
yeah,
aren't you?
my mic's
keeps
falling down.
But yeah, no, this is the thing. Like, obviously, whether you're into musicals or whether you are into, 90s, 80s pop, whatever, whether you're into... I'm just watching mine struggle, and it's just making me laugh. Whether you're into rap or screamo, whatever, sometimes... if you're in a good mood and you want it to get better, you'll sing. If you want to feel better after a bad day at work or something, you might want to sing. Because there's just something about music that can get to everyone and make us feel different things. And it's great, especially when you can sing along to it. Are you all right over there, mate?
Yeah, I think I'm back in the game.
You are back in.
Speaking of it's in the game, let's talk about FIFA 18.
Yeah, please do. I don't know anything about FIFA, so you're going to have to talk about this.
This is the BBC Newsbeat website. Most people, Friday the 29th of September probably isn't that significant unless you play FIFA. Here are six things that only happen on FIFA launch day. Workmates call in with a mystery illness. The illness being extreme stress from deciding which team to start your career with, and the fatigue to arguing about which Premier League players should have made the top 10. Now, Chris, I want to know, have you ever done that? Have you ever pulled a sickie for a game?
No, I actually haven't, ever. No. As much as I enjoy gaming, and as much as I find it's a good release for me, I've never once turned around and gone, I just want to play a few more levels. So do you know what? I'm just gonna call in sick. Never done it.
And this is genuinely true. I have had it by pure coincidence, and I mean pure coincidence. Like I was off sick, and then Gran Turismo 4 came out.
Yeah.
Pure coincidence, but that was back in the day before you could order it online.
Yeah.
So I had to wait all day, and I was like, "Mum, can you please go into Woolworths? Oh yeah, during your lunch break and get this for me." And that's it. Your significant others stop paying any attention to you. Supermarkets will be ridiculously busy all of a sudden because they're open at midnight, obviously. People get overly dramatic about saying goodbye to FIFA 17. We all know that change is hard, so expect to see your timeline filled with dedications to the old game and dramatic deleting of old settings from consoles. There we go. The new soundtrack will divide opinion, and actual footballers get the game earlier than you do. They've got a couple of pictures of Raheem Sterling and Ashley Young showing their copies of FIFA 18. So yeah, I just if you haven't ever called in sick or anything like that, has a game ever sent you into like hibernation mode?
In what regard? As in
bye bye world, I'm playing this now.
No, as it happens, I've always had time where I've gone, right, okay, I've been playing this a lot now. I need to go outside. I need to go out. I need to see people.
Because I know Skyrim can do that to people.
Yeah, and to be fair, Skyrim, I've put a lot of hours into Skyrim. I think I'm on something like 400 hours now. On different saves, obviously, but obviously it came out a fair while ago now, and no, even then, as much as I love Skyrim and the whole fantasy RPG genres kind of thing, I just went, you know what? Nah, I know where I know when I need to get out and do something else other than game.
Yeah, it's important to do that. It's important to go outside. So yeah, we're going to be moving on now. Speaking of new games, Forza 7's come out this week, and I'm going to give you like a little mini review. I'm thinking about doing a video because it's still it's fresh out. It came out on Tuesday. So yeah, here are my bullet points.
Go for it.
It looks great, but it chugs a bit on an old fat Xbox.
Does it?
Like what I've got. Chugs a bit, yeah. I think.
Okay.
And it says on the box like optimized for Xbox One X, and I'm like, yeah, I bet you are. I bet it's going to run like dirt, and it does run, and it runs perfectly fine. It just chugs a bit occasionally. You know what I mean? It's just like, it just doesn't work so great. Cars are locked in collecting tiers. Now, what I mean by that is the cars are locked away, so you have to like collect cars in order to collect more cars.
Yeah,
which is kind of dumb to me. Like, if I buy a game, especially one like Forza, I want to be able to access everything. Like now, I want it all, please. Do from my perspective, isn't earning the credits in the game enough? Isn't that enough? Like, you earn the credits. That is how you unlock stuff. That the in-game currency is how you unlock stuff. All assists are on by default, baby mode. So like when you first start playing, the game is braking for you. It's practically steering for you. It's practically accelerating for you. What's the point? You make people feel that they're way better than they actually are. It's got loot crates, which you can spend in-game currency on or real money. I don't like that. It's a racing game. It doesn't need those. It's become a bit less free in that way. Like it's trying to funnel you down very specific paths. It's more like the Horizon series, which is great if that's what you want. The Horizon series, the Forza Horizon games, have you played one?
No, as previously been stated, I have no interest in racing games.
But you like Burnout and stuff, don't you?
Yeah, but that's because of the sheer carnage.
Forza Horizon's pretty good for that as well. Probably worth playing the first one. It's quite cheap to pick up now. But it's like that. It's very structured. You do this thing, then you do this thing, then you do this thing. But it's got a bit more freedom to it. Whereas Forza 7 doesn't have that open world driving element. It doesn't have that. So, it's kind of missing from that. And I basically, for being loyal to the Forza series, it gave me a load of upgrades, and I picked the wrong one. I cocked it up.
Yeah.
So I could have all these great upgrades, and instead I chose 4 loot boxes because I didn't read it properly. That's my mistake, though. But yeah, you can expect a full review. I mean, overall, it's great and all, but it's suffering some problems. Like it drives great. Like to play, it's great fun. It's got way better loading times, or at least it feels like they're better loading times. I think they hide it quite nicely, but it feels like you're quite funneled down a particular path. Like it's going to send you down a particular way there. So yeah, that's Forza 7. Chris, you want to talk about Kingsman?
Yes, Kingsman. Obviously, I watched the first one 2 years ago? Was it 2 years it came out? 2 years ago it came out?
Yeah, it must have been.
Watched it a couple of years ago, and I remember watching and going, I love it. Taron Egerton, fantastic actor. Colin Firth, and it was, supported by a fantastic cast. And obviously they've got Samuel L. Jackson in the first one, which was brilliant. I loved that. Playing the villain V. And he was just a really, really good film. And obviously I went, I really hope they're going to franchise it, because it was good enough to do so.
Yeah.
And obviously it's a take on your kind of classic spy film, I suppose.
Yeah.
But obviously with a few little changes, which I love. I could really love it. And then a few months ago, obviously, a trailer came out, and I was sat there going, I need to see it. And do you know what? I still haven't, and I'm gutted, because I know it's not going to be around for very long.
I might go see it tomorrow.
Oh, you bastard. See, the problem is that you can do that. I'm on a lifeguarding course.
Yeah, but you can see it on... When are you back?
Saturday, I think.
Have you got any time free on Saturday?
I've got time. Time's fine. It's the money I don't have.
Yeah, no. But it's going to be in cinemas for a while, I expect.
Well, I hope so, because it does look like it's a fantastic film.
I'm really
And
annoyed.
from what people have said, it sounds like it's a very good film.
Well, I hope so.
You
I
do
hope
both.
so. I'll tell you what it's like tomorrow. I was really upset I missed America Made in the cinema.
Yeah?
You know the film with Tom Cruise about flying
Yeah.
drugs over the border, stuff like that. Really, really pissed off that I missed that. And we also played That's You.
Yes, we did.
And what do you think about That's You?
It was good. But obviously we played Jackbox games as well,
Which are better.
which we talked about last week in last week's episode. Yeah, it is better than That's You. Is it That's You?
That's
or it's
You.
You? That's You.
That's You.
It's good.
Yeah.
For what it is and for what it's worth. And obviously you can get it for free on PSN, am I right?
PS Plus free
PS
this
Plus,
month,
yeah.
Worth getting for nothing.
And exactly. And it's good. It's not bad. It's actually a very well-made game. It's quite well thought out. The voice acting in it's brilliant. It's a good game. But for me, because it wasn't quite on the levels of the games of like Quiplash and things like that, it just didn't quite hit the spot for me.
What was nice is it didn't try and copy those games.
Yeah,
it didn't try
100%.
and it didn't try and just we're gonna rename Quiplash and stick it in our game. It didn't do that. So there's that. I liked it. I just feel like it's great if you've got like 4 or 5 of you. I think we only played with 3 of us, but I think if there was like 4 or 5 or maybe even 6 of you, it'd probably be quite fun to play. And unlike the Jackbox games where you've got to download an app. Which is a pain in the arse.
It is a little bit, whereas obviously with Jackbox games you can just go online, go on the website and link it up via the code that's given to you at the start of each game.
Yeah.
Which is what I liked. I liked how simple it was. I didn't like having to download an app to play the game.
Yeah, and also with the Jackbox games you can put in a code and technically you can be anywhere. Like you don't have to be connected to the Wi-Fi network or anything like that.
Exactly.
With That's You do have to be connected to the Wi-Fi network that the PlayStation is on. So, if you don't give out your Wi-Fi code too often, that's going to ruin your day. I watched a thing on Netflix. Jack Whitehall's Travels with My Father. Basically, Jack Whitehall has decided he wants to do a gap year.
Oh, yeah.
So he takes his dad.
Huh.
Why not? And I watched a couple of episodes of that. It's an interesting little travel program. It's funnier than you think. It's smarter than you think. Obviously, some of it's staged. It's got to be like, there's some scenarios set up there that, I wouldn't take my father to a nightclub drinking out of a bucket. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also, it itself begs a stupid question. If you wanted that Jack Whitehall, why did you take your father? You took your father because it's an interesting concept for a television program. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's good. It's formatted very televisually. Like some Netflix stuff is kind of filmic. This is like a little television doc. I'm a few episodes in. I am enjoying it. It's worth a watch if you're into travel. It's worth a watch if you like Jack Whitehall. If you like both those things, you'll probably really enjoy this program. I've watched it as far as I've watched the episode where they get into Cambodia. So they've done all of Thailand, which is kind of nuts.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're actually getting towards the end now, and let's talk about a little flag here. What do you think about this, Chris? A man was accused of flying the black flag of death. That's the flag for ISIS. After he put up a Jack Daniels flag, concerned neighbours in Zurich thought the Bourbon advert was promoting so-called Islamic State. Someone left a note at his house in Switzerland saying they would put him and his girlfriend on a watch saying, "Should we be afraid of you?" First the Italian flag and now the black flag of death. The man, 29, who has an Italian background and wanted to remain anonymous, said, "I hung it up because I found it funny." Apparently his neighbours didn't drink much from the Tennessee distiller, as when he got home on Saturday he found an anonymous note. I was completely flabbergasted when I read it, he said. The man says he does not know exactly who wrote the letter. I talked to the neighbours, but no one knows anything about it.
That's ridiculous.
Mind you, if you've never seen the Jack Daniels flag before and you look at first glance, you might be a little bit confused. Well, I want to know what's an Italian doing hanging out a Jack Daniels flag?
Who knows?
Like, Italians have got their own booze. It's good booze as well.
It is very good booze, actually.
What? They got wine.
They do.
I remember when I went to Rome, I bought crap wine in a supermarket. Like, crap wine in a supermarket, and it was some of the best wine I've ever had in my life.
Really?
Yeah, it was amazing. That's just... They've got wine. Why are they doing that? When it was wrongly told that we were supporters of IS, it's a defamation, he says. Wow, there you go. So, short version is, don't hang up a Jack Daniels flag in your lawn because people might think you've joined a terrorist group. That's basically the short version. Anyway, so if you want to know anything more about us, and some of the videos coming up this soon, Chris, what are you working on?
Sorry, say that again, mate. I was distracted because stuff.
Who's texting you?
My missus, because I don't actually, unlike other people, I don't actually have the chance to do so very often.
Yeah, no, I know how you feel. I was there with Frankie when she went away. What are you working on video-wise? Have you got anything in the pipeline at the minute? I know we've both been busy, so it's kind of quiet. So I just wanted to do a little update at the end here.
At the moment, there may be something in the works for adverts by us.
Oh,
again. Yeah. I'm not going to give any spoilers for that.
Yeah, try not to.
But as well, I've found that because, obviously, with my job and everything, at the moment, I'm not able to do as much performing as I'd like. I'm not able to, get up on the stage or do anything like that. So, what I've started doing is I've started recording covers.
Yes.
Which I'm tempted to start making videos for as well, because I want to kind of try a little bit. I mean, even if it's a sister account to Curious Crow,
yeah.
I kind of want to do some more performance arty stuff, just because I really enjoy it. And, it's a bit like this. I mean, we enjoy doing it. We love it.
Yeah.
But are we going to continue to do it, regardless of whether, we've got 3 fans or 3 million?
3 million would be good.
It would be nice, yeah.
But
we could actually do this professionally, which would be lovely.
Yeah,
but
it was something. I think something that I can't remember who said it, but it was a musician who said, "Oh, I think it was Bob Dylan." They said, "If 3 people like your music, then it's worthwhile doing."
But yeah, precisely. That's makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
especially for creative types.
Yes, if someone's enjoying your work, it is 100% worth doing. Simple as.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm working on a new series called Backlog. Hopefully, I've got a couple of days off, so I'm going to actually try and work on that as soon as. In the first episode, we're going to look at my backlog of Xbox games, original Xbox games that I've got sitting around. And they're actually there. I'll grab them. Hang on. Sing some music or something.
Because you put me on the spot, you turd.
So the games I played for this... Oh, I just smacked myself in the face with the microphone.
Good. That's karma.
This is professional. The games I played is 13, Blinks, The Time Sweeper, Driver 3, Juiced, Rally Sport Challenge. It's actually very good. Sonic Heroes, which isn't very good, and Sonic GT 2002, which is basically Gran Turismo.
Well, do you know what makes me laugh? And I've said it before. it's worth noting that Martin is very much a driving game man.
Yeah.
In fact,
I'd
you're
say so.
actually one of the only people I know that obsessed with driving games.
I play other stuff too. Like, it's not I don't just play driving games, but yeah.
Just plays driving games is lying to you.
Should I tell you what else is in my backlog at the minute?
Go on.
Future episodes. I have... This is a racing game. Ridge Racer... I can't remember what it's called, actually. It's one of the Ridge Racer games. Hang on. There you go. Turn it around. I've got Ridge Racer Type 4 for the original PlayStation. Le Mans 24 Hours for the original PlayStation. Spider-Man 2 for the PSP. Formula 1 2006 for the PSP. Ratchet & Clank Size Matters for the PSP. Formula 1 Championship Edition. Motorstorm for the PS3. F1 2010. And then on the 360, I've got F1 Race Stars. F1 2012. Can you see a theme coming on here?
Yeah, very much so.
There is going to be an F1 video at some point, I'm sure. On the PlayStation 2, I've got Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty, Midnight Club, Need for Speed Pro Street, Canis Canem Edit, which in America's Bully, Need for Speed Carbon, and Stuntman. So there's some of the games that are currently in my backlog. So yeah, I'm hoping the series on my backlog is good. I hope we make some more good stuff. If you have any ideas for us, things you think we could do well, tell us. We like to listen. We like change. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this week. We'll be back next week with some more. If you want, you can subscribe.
Hang on, before we move on too quickly, you've got to name the episode this week.
Oh, good. Hang on, let me have a little think. Actually, no, I don't. Because nobody named it last week, so you have to name it this week.
Why do I have to name it this week, then?
Because that would have been your week being skipped, so it's your turn still.
All right, okay, then.
So while I'm doing this, you can come up with something. As long as it's not... last week's name, by the way, came after the show, where we both went, let's call it that. And if you don't know what we're on about with that, listen to it. It's quite funny. There's a lot of bleeping. So yeah, if you want to subscribe to the YouTube channel, you can do so. Just search for Curious Crow Productions on YouTube. We are on Insta. We have an Insta, don't we?
Yeah, we do have an Instagram, yes.
What's it called?
Curious Crow Productions.
We also have a Facebook, which is called...
Curious Crow Productions.
Oh, there's a theme developing. So
maybe.
you can find us on there. We're also on SoundCloud. We're on the Apple Podcast app. We still want suggestions for podcast apps that you'd like us to be available on. So you can do that. But Chris, name.
I have the name. It's Our Weekend with the Kingsman playing FIFA 18.
Sorry, our weekend.
Our Weekend with the Kingsman
Playing FIFA.
FIFA
With the Kingsman. I'm actually writing this down. It shows you. I can type quicker than I can write. Kingsman playing FIFA 18. Okay. With that... Wow, that's quite a long title. That's not going to fit in the box very well. Just making my edit life difficult. With that, we'll see you next time. Thanks very much for joining us. Bye-bye.
Bye.